Okay, so I wanted to make this video to help someone who may be having the same issue I was having with my Brother HL series printer. I had to replace the cartridge in it. This is the original cartridge I bought with the printer. And it ran out of ink, so I had to get a new cartridge to replace it with. I had this Arthur cartridge laying around that I originally bought when I bought the printer, just so I had another cartridge laying around when I needed it. So I've had that laying around for around a year without use, and it was time to replace the cartridge now. And I went to go to replace the cartridge, and my printer would not detect this Arthur cartridge. I tried looking up a bunch of other videos to figure out how to get my printer to detect this cartridge. And I went through a few reset processes, restarts, reboots. I tried going into the Brother program on the computer to fix it, and nothing seemed to fix it. There was really no solution. My printer just would not detect that cartridge. So after not really receiving a solution from anything I watched, I just kind of thought to myself, what if I were to replace these chips right here? Because I pretty much thought that if the printer's not detecting the cartridge, it has something to do with the chips that are inside of the cartridges themselves. So right here is my original Brother cartridge, and right here is the generic Arthur cartridge. What I did was I just replaced the chips inside of each cartridge. This is the chip that came with the Arthur cartridge, so I got rid of that, and I put my Brother chip into the Arthur cartridge, and here's the Arthur cartridge, right? So I did that, and I just tossed the Arthur cartridge into this thing right here, put it into the printer, and the printer took it immediately. I didn't even need to go through a reset process, didn't need to do anything special with it. The printer just read it, and I was able to print immediately using it. So that was the solution that I found works with my Brother HL printer. I know a lot of people say it can work with one thing, won't work with another, but that's just a potential solution you might have for that. Just a piece of caution for when you're removing these chips, though. When you remove these chips, I don't recommend doing it with your fingernails or anything. I just used this little tiny screwdriver right here. And for the Brother cartridge, to get the chip out, I just kind of got the screwdriver underneath of there and pushed the chip up really carefully, and it just popped right out. With this Arthur cartridge, it was a little different because it's kind of recessed in there. It's just not flat laying in. So what I had to do was I had to push it out, and you can kind of see where I bent the plastic a little bit. That didn't seem to matter. It still took it all the same. But you have to be careful not to scratch the top of these chips or anything, or else it may not work for you. So you got to get in underneath the chip and get them out without breaking them. So that might be a little hard for you, depending on how big your hands are, how steady of a hand you have. But hopefully that works for you. The reason I'm actually making this video is because after doing this, I found out that Brother has a class action lawsuit filed against them for their toner cartridges prematurely, stating that you need to replace them. So they'll say that you need to replace the toner before it even actually is out of ink, which kind of ticked me off a little bit. So if you can buy your ink generic and get these cartridges to work, you'll save yourself $30, $35. That's great for you, and hopefully this works for you to help you save that little bit of money too. So there you are. If you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll try to answer them.